So that cold front that pushed in yesterday, pushed in almost, we didn't get the snow, but it sat on top of us, and we are at 23 degrees outside. The thermometer over there reads 28 on the outside of the greenhouse. This reads 38. Air temperature. I don't know what the ground temperature is. We'll see if these tomatoes make it. I mean, I shut this thing up just in time. It's only going to be a high of 45 today, partly sunny. So we'll see what the temperature comes up to in here. Don't quite see the breath in here. I'm going to go around and show you the deep freeze. So we do house the chickens on the other side of this wall, as you can hear. And the heat from the birds does somewhat heat this structure. That's one of the reasons I did that. But that section back there is not insulated. Ideally, I wanted to have it insulated, and the heat from the birds would be piped into the greenhouse. But I didn't get all that done because we have well over 100 birds. So they do generate a significant amount of body heat. So with the high of 45 today, I will not be working outside too much just because I don't have to. If I had to, I would. But they're calling for 60s mostly next week, which is above normal. So this says 28, 27. I can kind of accept this thermometer's accuracy when there's no sun on it. When the sun's shining on it, forget it. So here's some of the birds. I'll go ahead and turn them out. Here we go. Dun, da, da. The lone turkey and the scobies. Big mouth. And you got all the pokers. Water's frozen. So 23 is a fairly good test of my tank over here. So also let's see what we're doing on the deep freeze here. See, this thing is not accurate. It says 20. Buy those cheap thermometers and the bulb shifts around on them. So but I do have one in here, the one I'm interested in, and that is 34, 35 degrees. That's like ideal. Could have meat hanging easily in here. Problem is, it's going to be in the 60s next week and so forth. Not going to be holding the temperature. I need to get it where I'm sure that the temperature is going to hold. I want to keep it above freezing and below 40. And I'm not worried about it really getting too cold in here because you could just turn off the fan. So I could have my meat curing right now, but I'm not sure I'd hold the temperature off grid. The whole point is to have air temperature be my main refrigeration. So I'm trying to keep this thing cold. The other structure I'm trying to keep warm. And using solar energy in the greenhouse is an excellent low-tech way to use solar energy to your... Ooh, got a nice breeze coming around the corner. So I'll check the tank. I'm sure the tank is probably fine, just the thermal mass. Even though it's below freezing out here, it would be day after day of deep freezing that I would be worried about. So anyway, I'm going to be working inside the greenhouse. This is the big greenhouse here. I'm going to work inside the small greenhouse organizing it. Then I'll work inside that deep freeze this afternoon when the air temperature's a little higher. I'm not going to be doing outside work today. I just really don't need to. I'll save that. We're going to have 70 on Saturday. I don't work on Saturday, but the cows are ready for another bale over there. Oh, did they push in on it? They might have. Go check those bad cows. Another couple dozen birds here. We need to get all the birds out together. Need to get rid of this coop. We'll be doing that soon enough. Yeah, they pushed in on it. Get out of that hay! Yeah, we're gonna have to move some panels over. They keep pushing in on it. Bad cows! What are you doing? Get away from there! What are you doing? Need to pound these posts all the way in. Prevent that. Get off my hay. Get a hay bale when I push it out. Bad cows. Where's that little calf? So anyway, I do have 2 panels over there. I'm gonna get them moved over here. We'll kind of end this madness. They're just hungry, and they've pretty much picked through the hay here. So we'll get that taken care of pretty quick. So I'll be back with you later. Y'all have a good morning. What are you naughty cows doing? Huh? So it's a lower 40-degree day outside, so I'm working on cleaning up this downstairs. We have junk everywhere. So here's some sunflowers. I had them hanging in the barn from a string, drying out, but the rats were climbing down the string and knocking them down and eating them all. So I put them in a wheelbarrow and brought them in the house. So I got to deal with that. I got chestnuts I got to deal with. I don't know what all that is. Oh, those are onions, I think. Look through there. I don't know. And sweet potatoes, and I'm working on these edible gourds here, busting the end off, and they're kind of hard. You can do all kinds of interesting things with these. Again, I had these out in the greenhouse, and the rats were chewing a hole and crawling up there and eating my seeds. So these edible gourds, they're pretty cool. Perennial crop. They're kind of like, they're not perennial, but not here. But you can grow them. They're like zucchini. They're pest free, so you can get the fruits, 12-inch, whatever. Less, and then eat them like zucchini. Do all kinds of interesting things, but they grow like crazy, and they don't really need anything. You just plant them and harvest them basically, and they'll grow on fences. And so if you want to do a seed swap, got them. They're just called edible gourds. Wiggle here out in the greenhouse, early afternoon, mid-afternoon, and our temperature's up to 58 or so. It's pretty comfortable in here. It's not too bad. I was cleaning up my downstairs, and I had a bin of chestnuts, Chinese chestnuts, and I didn't leave it undone. But here's the basic idea. I'll put a couple inches of dirt in the bottom of a bucket, and then I'll put a layer of chestnuts and then dump dirt on it. And I actually did 2 layers on all these. So part of my challenge is, do I put them out in the garden and feed rats and squirrels and everything else? And do you want to tie up garden space with putting nuts in there, trying to get them to sprout? No. So what do? This is a barley fodder bucket. See that series of holes in the bottom there? You put the barley seed in there and then rinse it a couple times a day, and you get your little mat of barley fodder. That's a whole nother thing, but this is a barley fodder bucket. So I'm using these. So what this does is it gives me a container. I put a couple inches of dirt, a couple inches of nuts, and then another. Now you could do 1 layer. So I did 1 layer and 2 layers. So I put, let's say, 2 inches of dirt, 2 inches of nuts, 2 inches of dirt, 2 inches of nuts, and then another layer of dirt, and then I would just stack them up on top of each other like this. And the advantage of doing this is it's going to keep them in dirt, help them be dormant, and if you get a bad one, it rots and leaks or something, it won't be nasty. The dirt will absorb that, and it helps keep them dry. They're not going to sprout prematurely. You put them in a bucket without drainage, and some of them will rot at the bottom, and it'll give you a little moisture, and they'll start trying to sprout and all that. Don't want them to sprout prematurely. I believe this will work with any of your hard case nuts or hard shell nuts like pecans, walnuts, acorns, Chinese chestnuts, any of that stuff. Probably hazelnuts. So the advantage of this is I can leave this out here in the greenhouse and not worry about any rodents getting in it. It's really rodent proof. Just stack them up like that. How are they going to get that? Shoot to the side of the bucket. Get there. And, like I have this bucket of peat moss that I'm just storing out here. So I just put that right on the top. Got this empty bucket. Put that right on the top. And now I have my nuts stored safely. And in the spring, I'll just take them out, put them outside, let the rain in it, and then it'll drain through, because this is set up for barley fodder. Those buckets all have those holes, so even if it rains, it fills the bucket, it's just going to drain down, and go to the ground. And then, so I'll get it water for free. And when they start to sprout, then I can just spread them out and just let them do their thing, and then I can break out the little seedlings and put them in pots. So I think this is a really good way to overwinter your nuts as you try to sprout them. I have no idea how well it'll work. I've tried it out in the garden, and it's always limited success because you just don't have control of the elements or the rodents or anything like that. So this way, and put them in the corner of a greenhouse or the corner of your garage or your storage shed, whatever. And I think you can get some trees going this way. And you have a whole forest of Chinese chestnuts if that's what you want, or black walnut or whatever. So I don't know. This is kind of my own thing. I kind of came up with this to see if it works. Welcome to try it yourself or come up with a better idea. Let me know. I think this is all something that this is pretty easy to do. not a lot of resources. I think just about anybody could do this, and even if you don't have your land yet, you can start getting your trees, keep them in pots in the backyard or on your patio or whatever until you're ready to get your homestead and you have a start. If you're doing your permaculture food forest, you know, the nut trees are kind of your main objective for a lot of different guilds, different groupings. You have the different layers, the different heights, and the nut trees will bring you a lot for a lot of years. It brings a lot of dense calories, nutrient dense calories, high in oil. Trees can provide a beautiful thing, and even if you're not eating it, you can let your grazing animals get out there under them and eat them. My goats love chestnuts. They'll sit there and wait for them to fall and rush to get them. So it's also a free food source. A tree might give you 100 pounds a year, and that's, who knows how much nutrition is in that to help them get through the winter. Anyway, I'm just sharing this with you, so let me know what you think.